Hello everyone. Hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. Give everyone just a minute to pop on. Hello. Hi guys, let us know where you're calling in from. We'd love to know what part of the world you're from. It's always fun seeing people from all over. I'll give you guys one more second to get on. Hello, Crunchy Oiling Mom. Hey, Nicole. Douglas, Chicago, Washington. Awesome. Hamilton, Ontario. Yay. Ormond Beach, Florida. Clarksville, Tennessee. Hey, Beth. All right. So cool. My name is Jackie Ritz. I am founder of the Paleo Mama blog. I'm also an essential oil and a natural healthcare educator. My husband here is a partner in my business with me, and we love educating other people on using more natural products like essential oils around their home, in their health, for their healthcare, on their children, on their animals, everywhere. So if you're new to live videos and live streaming, I welcome everyone on Facebook Live and Periscope. You simply tap the screen if you're finding value in what we're saying, and it gives us these nice, beautiful, flowing hearts, and that just lets us know that somebody is still there watching. So we appreciate the hearts and the love, and also you are more than welcome to share this video with your friends and family. Thank you, Essential Oils Seattle, for sharing. We appreciate that. Share it with your teams. If you are on a wellness team, share it with yourself if you want to find it easily for later. So once again, my name is Jackie Ritz. This is my husband, Frank Ritz, and we're going to talk with you a little bit this morning about gut health. We're going to tell you guys how to keep your gut healthy during the holidays and beyond. How many of us ate too much food yesterday and kind of were suffering from it a little bit today? Thankfully, I was a good girl. I cheated a little bit by eating some mashed potatoes, which was off my keto diet. But all in all, I did a pretty good job. But even if I didn't, I've got my TerraZyme here, which is a digestive enzyme which helps me break down all those different kinds of foods that I might have ate that my stomach did not really like. And Frank's going to talk with you a lot today about digestive enzymes and probiotics and how important it is for your gut health. We know, as being part of the natural health world for a while, that 80% of your health originates in your gut. And so if your gut is off track and not really jiving well, then you're going to suffer in different areas of your body because of that. So it's really important to keep your gut healthy, especially during the holidays, and it's going to keep your immune function healthy and help you stay healthy during the holidays. So I'm going to hand it over to my amazing husband here, Frank Ritz. He joined my business about 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago.
2 years ago, February.
He's a physician assistant. He's worked in the natural healthcare for a while, and he is just amazing at dumbing down a lot of the parts about our body. I know I need it dummied down. I don't know about you. I know Nicole and some other nurses on here, you guys love this stuff. So so good to understand and be empowered and educated on using more natural products for your house. So I'm going to hand it over to him.
Hey everyone, I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving, and it's a Black Friday today, right? So Black Friday shopping and stuff like that. And then we got Shop Small Saturday and Cyber Monday, right?
Cyber Monday, yes.
All the different ways that we can spend money that we shouldn't be spending, right? Anyway, so I really like this this BOGO for today. The rest of the BOGOs throughout the week have actually been really awesome because they've been all oils, and now today we actually have an opportunity to dive into the world of the supplements as well. So doTERRA, we know it as an essential oil company, but let's really face it. doTERRA is actually a science organization. They have a team of about 25, 26 people who are both with a master's or at least a master's, if not mainly PhDs, that actually work in not only the research and development area, but are also part of the scientific advisory team. And so these ones are these folks are the ones that are coming up with these products. They're the ones that are trying to find out how do we synergistically combine the properties of the essential oils in addition to some really great resourced supplements in order to be able to get the benefit of both. And so a lot of the gut health types of supplements that we'll see here in doTERRA are actually really fantastic. I have vetted them very much so. I've actually spoke with some of the scientific advisors in reference to these supplements, because we want to make sure that, you know, doTERRA wants to ensure that we are getting quality supplementation. We don't want to just be putting literally what we see in, like, you know, a lot of those other stores. We see a lot of sugar in a pill, you know, making a claim that it's going to be doing something that it may not necessarily be doing exactly what it's supposed to be doing. So every minutia, if you will, in terms of resourcing through product development through resourcing, through actually looking at it from the inside out in terms of like exactly what is going into the capsule, as well as the capsule itself, and then how is the delivery system in the body, and then what is the long-term effects of that as well, are all looked at in a lot of evidence-based medicine in a lot of different ways to ensure that the product that we are getting exactly does what it's designed to do. And so for today, it's really nice that we're actually looking at some supplements. The first of which is that, if I'm not mistaken, you buy the TerraZyme, you get the PB Assist for free, right?
Yes.
And so I really also enjoy this one because I would say take advantage of it, because we've got a lot of the holiday stuff going on, right? And so we want to make sure that although we're eating those wonderful comfort foods that we all know and love, the downside is that we also kind of like take the time to prepare these meals in such a way that we're using a lot of preserve laden or a lot of like processed, or we're doing lots and lots of cooking. So I'll let you, do you want to jump in and say something really fast? Okay, so the reason why TerraZyme is very beneficial is because if you were to eat mainly a raw food diet, we would be able to get the vast majority of those enzymes that we need to be able to break down the food sources that we are consuming. Now I'm not going to get super into the science about it, where we got macro and micronutrients. So micronutrients are going to be taken care of through a lot of our supplementation. A lot of our multivitamin use. And that's the reason why I would also offer to you that if you have not looked at Lifelong Vitality, folks, it's not the #1 product for doTERRA just because it sounds cool and it's got a fancy acronym. I mean, it really does work well. So on top of the TerraZyme and the PB Assist, please by all means comment below, talk to us about Lifelong Vitality, and let's answer those questions and do your research. Go to doTERRA.com and take a look at Lifelong Vitality as well. So that's your foundational product, is the Lifelong Vitality. And then we want to start branching out and looking at other products that we should be considering in order to be able to actually have all of the holes plugged that are happening in our natural diets every single day. And so TerraZyme, like I was saying, a lot of the natural food enzymes, if we were to have a 100% raw diet, we would actually get quite a bit of those enzymes and we'd be okay. But honestly, how many of us really do eat a complete 100% raw diet? Right? So if I was in a classroom, I would say, like, by raise of hands, who eats 100% raw diet? Right? So you wouldn't see very many. There's a lot of folks who do very well with it, and they actually do eat very much a very good amount of fermented and raw raw fresh foods, and that's wonderful. But the thing is that we still, by and far, I'd say at least 5 to 10%, we probably end up actually cooking as well. And so unfortunately, when we cook, yes, we make it more flavorful. We're able to create things, that we couldn't normally get by just eating completely raw. Problem is, though, is that we actually damage the enzymes that are within those particular foods. And unfortunately, those enzymes, when they become damaged by the process of heating, then unfortunately they become very non-useful inside the body. And so then it spawns the question, well, what is an enzyme? So an enzyme is actually, like, if you think of like a key and a lock, right? The key is only going to fit in that particular type of lock in order to actually create to turn the mechanism in order to actually unlock the lock. So enzymes are the key to being able to unlock the process that happens inside the body, or inside of all of our bodies, in order for various metabolic and various different types of systematic process to actually occur. I could actually chew a piece of bread, and eventually my mouth would dissolve the bread to the point where it could actually transit into the stomach and then be further dissolved. The problem is, though, is that unfortunately, when that happens, it could take a very long time. The other thing that enzymes do is they are catalysts inside of the body, and they actually help with the deconstruction of a food source in a much faster sense. So think about like when we start a fire, we could let the wood literally sit there, create a small little portion of like hot coals, if you will, and just allow the process to naturally take over and create ourselves a fire. What do we do to actually make that fire happen more? We either add maybe some fuel to it, or we fan it, and that's what will actually make the fire go faster. So when I think of that, I think the fuel of the fan analogy here, that's an enzyme, okay? So it's going to make that process happen a lot faster. And so we want to make sure that we are getting inside of our gut the types of enzymes that are necessary to actually be able to break down these food sources. And so what doTERRA has done is they have actually been able to construct a supplement that has 10 different whole, raw, untouched enzymes, and they've been able to put it inside of this capsule, okay? The capsule is not very large whatsoever. It's about yay big, okay? And it's actually full of all of these different types of enzymes, and we'll very quickly kind of go over all of them. So when we think of like the different types of foods that actually need to be broken down, we got to be thinking the macronutrients of carbohydrates, proteins, fats, okay? Now, within those, there are some specific different types of food-based carbohydrates, proteins, and fats that we are getting. And so like when I think like protein breakdown, protease and papain is actually resourced, and it's in this product, okay? When we have like, the need for breaking down the various sugars that we eat, okay? Amylase is a regular starchy type of enzyme, but then we also have cellulase, which helps us break down dietary fiber. Because, of course, we have both soluble and insoluble fibers that we actually consume. And so we need to be able to break those down. And then we also have sucrase, which actually takes the chemical constituent or the chemical component called sucrose and actually breaks that into fructose, which our body actually creates the enzymes internally to be able to actually break down fructose to be able to use it as a ability to create energy from that food source. And then, of course, there's also lipase in there. And so lipase, which comes from also the root word lip, or LIP, which stands for fat. So when we think lipids in the body, we have to think fat. So we also have to break down fats too. So it's got carbohydrate enzymes in there, it's got protein enzymes in there, and it's got fat enzymes in there. And then what I really like is that there's actually an anti-gluten enzyme as well, okay? Which helps us break down the glutens that are inside of our the foods that we eat. And I understand that we have a lot of glucose intolerance happening these days in addition to these processed foods. And so it's really nice to actually have the TerraZyme to be able to add that to our diets in order to have that reassurance that we're even helping break down those things. I tell you what, folks, I've actually, when I started this, I was getting that bloated and kind of like puffed feeling, if you will, in my gut. And honestly, once I started the TerraZyme, all of that magically went away because of the fact that I knew that I was getting those whole food enzymes to be able to actually have it, right? And so the way that we actually take this, the directions as are stated on the bottle, is you're going to take 1 to 3 capsules every meal. And so I just actually, baseline now, I just take 1 capsule per meal. Or sometimes if I know that I'm eating really great, I'll just take 1 capsule a day. Mm-hmm. You know, but if you're having like a more heavy meal where we're eating
steak, if I'm eating steak, yeah. I take about 2 of the capsules. 2 or 3. But if we're having like fish or chicken or something like that, and we're having a salad with it, you know, you can get away with just 1. So it depends on sort of like, you know, do you need to do 1 or 3, 1, 2, 3, based on the type of meal that we're eating. You know, there's been times where I've had some slices of pizza, I'll do a couple, you know, because I want to be able to have all of that stuff. I want to be able to have all of that stuff to be able to have, you know, for being able to get exactly what I need. Mm-hmm. So anyway, that's probably the vast majority of the things that I would like to say about... I have some tips.
Yeah, I always like how she rounds these things out. So
I use this with my children, and of course they can't swallow the big pill yet. My daughter can almost swallow It's, you know, like Frank showed you, it is rather large pill right there. And she's almost 8, but she's still having trouble swallowing it. So I make a smoothie in the morning for them, most mornings, especially on school mornings when we're in a hurry. And I just open up the capsule and I empty the powder into the smoothie. So that's kind of how I get the TerraZyme into my children's body. So that's a little cool tip that you can do as well.
And this isn't on BOGO, but this is actually one of the cool, really, I tell you what, this is really cool. Yeah, this is really cool. But we'll talk about this as well when I talk about PB Assist. But we actually came out with PB Assist Junior as well. But the TerraZyme, adding it to smoothies or adding it to their cereal or something like that, absolutely.
Applesauce. I also put in applesauce or yogurt if they're having yogurt in the morning. Just kind of sprinkle it in, mix it in. Applesauce, they don't. It's tasteless. They don't taste it. And then they also are able to get all of those 10 enzymes into their body at least once a day. I try to do so.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely fantastic, and both kids and adults can share in the just the wonderful benefit of it alone. Because if you think about it, really you're not getting anything. Don't let it fool you. I mean, you're really only getting 10 whole food enzymes in this. I mean, there's nothing else in it, folks. I mean, the only other stuff that I've seen is just obviously the vegetable capsule. But if we just take that out, cut it off, if you will, and then be able to put it inside of whatever food we're eating, then you're good to go. So yeah, it's absolutely fantastic to be able to add to stuff like smoothies and that sort of thing. So
yeah, and so if you're just kind of logging on and joining us, you buy this today with your doTERRA account, or if you don't have one yet, then you're able to get the PB Assist for free. And we're about to talk about the PB Assist, which is probiotics, and so probiotics are essential to gut health.
All right. Moving on to PB Assist, okay? What I really love about PB Assist is actually the history of it. I actually have an unopened bottle, or excuse me, I have mine that I need to take this morning, which I wanted to hold off before I actually do it. So this is PB Assist, okay? That's actually PB Assist. And what's kind of interesting about the PB Assist is that you notice it's got a green color to it, okay? And so that green color, I'll describe here in a second. But what it is it's, excuse me, it is the 2 different types of encapsulation, okay? So when we think PB Assist stands for probiotic. All right, probiotics, if you may or may not know, are super important to gut health because we need to ensure that, you know, we have a nice amount of good bacteria in our gut, because the good bacteria actually further digest the food and breaks it up so our body can also utilize it. But the most important thing is it actually gives us vitamin K. The strands of bacteria that are inside of our gut, the E. coli especially that's inside of our gut, that breaks down food substances and gives us vitamin K. Vitamin K is something that we don't normally get from exogenous sources that we normally eat. We usually get it from an internal source. And that's the reason why, you know, it's really important. Vitamin K is super important for the purpose of coagulating the blood. When we get a cut, when we get a scrape, when we get some sort of bleeding, if you will, it's the vitamin K that helps in the cascade, which is a whole different story that takes hours to explain how amazing the process is that the body can do. But literally will take, and it's the enzyme, or excuse me, it's the vitamin that is super important for being able to help out with that entire coagulation cascade in order to be able to take real blood, flowing blood, to turn a clot into it. So it's pretty amazing. But PB Assist will give us those different types of strains of good bacteria. We're looking for a delivery of 6 billion colony-forming units through the PB Assist. And it actually has some really amazing fructo-oligosaccharides that actually help help promote those 6 billion colony-forming units. And so Jackie will hold it up, but the outer portion of that capsule is enteric coated, and that's what you want, because we don't want to be taking a bunch of colony-forming units and then putting them in the environment of the stomach, which we all know is high acid, and we would literally be destroying those beneficial bacteria inside of the stomach alone because of the acidic environment.
It's a capsule in a capsule.
And so what we want to do is we want to take an enteric-coated form of probiotic, because we got to get through that environment of the stomach in order to be able to get down into the small intestine, which is where we want our probiotic to actually be delivered to. And so inside that capsule as well is another capsule that actually houses those different types of really beneficial bacteria. What's really amazing is that it has a green color, and I never knew that, and so of course I want to do some research and figure out why. The green color is actually chlorophyll. And so the prebiotic, all right, not to be mixed with probiotic, a prebiotic is a food source that doTERRA has put in this capsule right along with the bacteria. That way when the bacteria get released, it actually has a source of something to start eating in order to be able to start what we call proliferating and growing inside of the gut. And so the delivery system, I think, is pretty amazing and very well thought out in terms of how we can actually get that beneficial gut flora into the area that we want. We all understand that proper health begins with gut health. And so TerraZyme and PB Assist, and actually some other supplementation to include Lifelong Vitality, are parts of what I always have for my daily protocol, because I want to ensure that I'm giving my gut what it needs. I mean, food is thy medicine, and so the things that we eat, we want to make sure are getting broken down in the ways that they absolutely should in order to be able to deliver them to the various cells of our body so we can make sure that we're running in optimal health. And that's the reason why I think that this TerraZyme PB Assist combo, folks, take advantage of it, because it is a fantastic deal for today, and it is definitely something that I think that you would be very happy with, and I challenge you to consider supplementation. The oils, trust me, are fantastic, but I tell you what, you need to absolutely consider having really good gut health as well. So please consider this, and I challenge you to venture into the realm of using supplementation as well. Good question. Go ahead if you want to take that one.
I take PB Assist twice a day, and I take it with my meal. Is that ideal?
To take it with your meal?
Yeah.
So, I mean, honestly, the important thing is that you're taking it, okay? So in terms of when you take it, it's not necessarily as crucial as making sure that you take it. Taking it before the meal is entirely fine, but what we're trying to do is actually getting the bacteria to colonate inside of our gut in the first place. And so by just simply getting it moving and starting to take it, it's entirely fine. You know what I mean? It's entirely fine. So I would say that, like, in terms of the timing of it, is not necessarily as crucial as just starting to take the supplement, period. The other thing is that I would also make sure that we take the TerraZyme. I like to actually take that before I actually have the meal, because I like it to be down there in the gut, kind of almost waiting on the food that I'm about to consume. That way I know that it's actually being acted upon. So.
And so once again, this is a pill that is kind of hard for kids to swallow. So, but we know how beneficial it is for our children to have probiotics, just as much. They're like little humans that need it, just like we do. So what doTERRA has done is they've actually made a kids version of PB Assist, and it has all the same amount of strains in it.
This one has 5 billion, that one has 6.
So this has one less.
So yeah, 1 billion less, but for kids that's completely sufficient. And for adults it's actually sufficient.
And it has the same strains as far as I'm...
Yes, yeah. If you look at them, they're very similar, absolutely.
But, it's like a pixie stick. It's actually so yummy and so good that my kids don't, they just take the end off and they just dump it in their mouth. So it's sweetened with xylitol, which is actually really good for your teeth, and it has a really good strawberry melon flavor to it, but it's got those probiotics in it that's getting into your kids. So I love this. Yeah, some adults, some man-childs love this too. If they don't want to take a probiotic, but they're
tough not to sneak in, but you got to remember, limit yourself to only one.
Yes, one a day is perfect, and these are, like I said, it's like a probiotic pixie stick. You can mix this in applesauce, you can mix it in yogurt, One of my favorite things is we make our own yogurt here with our milk from our cow. So I don't sweeten it. So instead I just dump one of the probiotics into it, and it naturally sweetens the yogurt. And then they're getting the probiotic from the food source, which is the fermented yogurt, and they're getting the probiotic from here. So they're getting all different kinds of probiotics into their body. So
I gotta be the geeky science guy and talk about like the really awesome delivery system.
You can open it up.
This as well. It actually has a really awesome delivery system, very unique.
Oh, good idea.
Very unique, by the way, in terms of how it was created. So there's a particular company that actually works directly with doTERRA to create these. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see it. Yeah, Jackie will be able to hook you up. But what's amazing is that the colony forming unit, now granted it just looks like sugar, okay?
Yeah.
But the colony forming unit is actually encapsulated inside of those particular little granules right there. And so that is sort of like the enteric coating. So that goes down into the stomach. That can last through the environment, if you will. And then it turns around and gets delivered into the gut in the same fashion as PB Assist.
Yeah, so each of those little granules are enteric-coated as well. They're double-coated. Yeah. So it's going to get down into your child or your small intestine. If they do chew it, yeah, I'm sure it'll disturb the encapsulation. I saw that question just a little bit. But my kids suck on it. They don't really chew on it. They kind of suck on it and it melts in your mouth. Yeah. So.
Yeah. It really does do that. So yeah, I mean, you know, the purpose is that depending upon what we do in addition to, besides just swallowing it, that's why we kind of like to put it in the smoothie, because then there's not the concern about it being, you know, manually chewed first before it gets down into the gut, thereby destroying the units. But the delivery system is designed to where you're supposed to be getting 5 billion CFUs when you actually consume one of these. The fancy name is one of these sachets, is what it actually is, but literally we call it a stick. So, but that's actually how that works. So it's a really, really ingenious delivery system. I really love it. So.
And if you haven't gotten started using doTERRA or essential oils yet, and nobody's kind of taking you under the reins, maybe you're kind of just seeing this video in your news feed, or you know, you followed me on Periscope for a while, we would love to help you get started if you're not already currently working with the wellness educator in doTERRA. The PB Assist actually does come in one of our starter kits. It's in our family wellness kit, which is a great kit if you have children. It comes with our most popular oils in roller bottles. So they're already diluted for you to use on your kids, on the bottom of their feet, on the back of their neck, which is great places to put those essential oils to get into your bloodstream. But the family wellness kit actually does have the PB Assist in it. So you might want to look into that kit if you want to get started using essential oils. When you do purchase a wholesale kit through a wellness educator in doTERRA, you're able to get your oils at wholesale price, which is 25% off. It's a steal, and you know you're getting them from the best company of essential oils in the world. doTERRA not only is a debt-free company, but they're a billion-dollar company. They're just amazing at how they source their oils and their products. They take your health into concern. So I'll go ahead and log off, but I'll post my link for you to read more about doTERRA. If you have any questions, email us, shoot us a message, shoot us a Facebook message through our Paleo Mama page, and we'll be sure to answer those for you. So we're off to Biltmore House in Asheville, taking our family out there to walk through. So we're going to log on off, and we'll get back to you guys probably sometime next week. We'll come on here and do another Facebook Live. So have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, everybody. And hopefully you get some of these products in you so that you're able to digest that turkey just fine. So have a great day. Bye-bye, everyone.